Look out! Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
2 out of 3 again this week on the intro there. I'm Justin Jarrett sitting in for Bob Stevens. Usually get to sit behind the curtain and listen to these guys and go try to find a few clips or things from the internet that maybe get them to chuckle as we're talking about sports and throwing people under the bus. But I'm steering the bus tonight for Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson Seafood House on the docks. Great spot here on Hilton Head Island. And we're here to talk sports and, take a few shots at a few folks, I'm sure, along the way. But we got to start this week in the NFL because, first of all, got to be the greatest wild card weekend ever. Bigger and better than ever, right? We got more games over more days, and they were all just with the exception of one that was kind of a dud, just tremendous games. And then we got carnage in the wake. Mike Tomlin deciding today that he doesn't want to coach the Steelers anymore. So it's a wild time in the NFL. It's been a great season, and the off-field stuff, the postseason stuff, doesn't seem to take a back seat to the on-field drama lately either.
Well, go ahead, Curry. What are you going to?
I was just going to say wild card weekend is followed by firing week because everybody either gets fired or retires or whatever this week. And I don't know what to say about the Mike Tomlin retiring. He apparently, everybody thinks he's going to go to TV. I don't know if you can throw anybody under the bus in this situation, although, because Mike Tomlin's like a religion in Pittsburgh. You can't say anything bad about him, except he hadn't won a playoff game in about 200 years.
That kills him, Curry. A lot of I have a couple of friends who are huge Steeler fans, and they wanted him out. They said he can't win. He can't win the playoff games. He has never had a losing record, never had a losing season. But when you look at his track record, with in the last 11 times he made the playoffs, he hasn't won a game, not one game.
Yeah.
That's to say a whole lot.
And the scores are ridiculous. They're like double-figure scores. That he's never even been in it. Were your pals a couple of those guys that screaming at Tomlin a few weeks ago at the game? Fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin.
They've been saying it for the last couple of years, and last night they looked so bad. Offensively, it was horrendous. It looked like a high school team blocking for Rodgers.
Yeah,
he's 42 years old. He can't get out of his own way. You got to have some. Obviously, offensive line's going to do a better job than they showed last night. I know Texas is probably one of the best defensive teams in the NFL, but my goodness, how could you? I think it was the lowest total of yards gained in the last 40. I don't know how long, since 1940 something. It was so poor. They did so poorly. I think it was where they had 175 overall in total yards. It was bad. It was really bad. It looked like the team was not very well prepared. And I think he knew he was on his way out. It was his decision, obviously. But now they talk about, if he goes to another team, they have to give up draft choices for him. That's crazy. Why would you? There's no coach worth draft choices. He's not going to change any program around unless he has good players. And if you give up draft choices, you're not getting good players.
Yeah. I think he's 40. You mentioned he's 42. I think if he was 24, I don't think he could have gotten away from that pass rush of the Texans.
Right.
They are really good. I didn't realize how good they are. But it was interesting. That great game the week before that Baltimore played against Pittsburgh. Both of those coaches were going to go. I think whoever won that game, it seems like Tomlin was going to probably retire after that game if they lost. They only got in the playoffs because the guy missed a 44-yard field goal.
Correct.
The Baltimore guy. And, they didn't look like Rodgers also looked very old. He looked even older than 42. I don't, and if his career ended with that pick six, where he actually tried to stop the guy that, he returned a 50-yard pick six, and the guy Kalen Bullock looked like, he goes down the sideline, and all of a sudden there's Rodgers, and Bullock practically stopped. I think he was so stunned that Rodgers was actually trying to tackle him, and he just nailed him out of bounds. He basically threw Rodgers out of bounds, and probably into his next life as the president of some Central American Bolivian country or something.
His AI wife, Brittany,
Yeah.
with the AI will be his first lady.
Did you see he was wearing his wedding ring playing last night?
No, I missed that.
He had his wedding ring on. He absolutely did on his left hand.
All right, so I don't know if you're aware of this, Curry, but there has been a lot of chatter that he has his wife. He claims, right? He claims.
Yeah, nobody knows who she is. Right?
He said she was Brittany with an I, but there is some speculation that he might have meant Brittany an AI. Basically, this may be an AI woman that he is calling his wife, a chatbot, and wearing a wedding ring. And I am here for this Aaron Rodgers conspiracy theory. I
love that. That is so good.
Sunset with his AI chatbot girlfriend and eat ayahuasca and talk to Joe Rogan every week. I'm here for it. I just don't need to see him play football anymore.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Well, we'll probably see him in Venezuela in some political stance
to some countries, right?
Yeah,
he's one strange dude, isn't he? I mean, he's off the rocker. Unbelievable.
But,
well, since Trump is now the president of Venezuela, maybe Trump loves football. He'll probably get Aaron down there to be his vice president or secretary of defense or something.
Well, here's something to chew on. Worldwide Wes Kerr, our producer tonight, has a couple notes for us. That's 7 straight playoff losses for Tomlin's Steelers, which ties an all-time NFL record, alongside Beaufort County resident, longtime Beaufort County resident, Marvin Lewis with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Wow, how about that? Yeah.
I once saw Marvin Lewis in the grocery store on Hilton Head.
Yeah, I believe.
And when this is when he was in the height of his career, losing playoff games. He lasted. And remember, he lasted a long time for all this stuff. Yeah.
He was on the seat every year for a good decade, it felt like. But yeah, go ahead, Curry.
Well, you mentioned how long and wild this wild card weekend was. The Rams' exciting escape from Carolina is a distant memory. But I've got a under the bus character, because everybody forgets after the Rams scored that last touchdown. They left about a minute left, and Bryce Young came right back down the field, and they had a 4th down to get in the end zone. He threw it right into the chest of Jimmy Horn Jr. for the Panthers. Now, everybody remembers Jimmy Horn Jr. is mostly known for being the favorite receiver at Colorado for the Sanders family, and he's only about the fifth guy on the receivers chart for the Panthers. But he had an easy reception in the end zone to win the game. I was sitting on my couch saying the Rams just lost the game, and it popped out of Horn's chest for a drop, with less than a minute left. And but so Horn's going under the bus.
Okay. Under the bus for me is home field advantage.
Yeah.
Think about that. 4 visiting teams, 4 out of 6 won. Only 2 home teams won, and actually the Bears were very fortunate to win.
Yes.
So really, the only home team that really took advantage was the Patriots, right? They won big.
Right.
Outside of that, we always talk about home field advantage, especially in football, but it didn't really work this year, did it?
No. Well, those home teams are, there's as the great Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead, who just died Saturday, the same time these games were going on. Those home teams are going down the road feeling bad. One of the great Grateful Dead songs. How about the Eagles? the defending champions.
Right.
They were total chumps. They were total chumps against the 49ers, not champions. Their offense, their offense has been a mess all season.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown, the star receiver, kept calling it out, in cryptic tweets all season. And they switched the offense around to suit him in the middle of the season. For 3 games, they lost all 3 of them. So then they went back to who knows what. I mean, who knows what.
Well, the coordinator just got fired.
He got nailed today, which we're doing this on a Tuesday. And he's fired. And Petula. Kevin Petula, he's out, and he was Sirianni's handpicked offensive coordinator. Right. So now, they were. I don't know about the Eagles. What was your?
What's interesting was, last year Barkley had over 2,000 yards rushing. This year I think he had a little bit over 1,000, but he wasn't the player he was from last year at all. So is that the coordinator's fault? I don't know. But think about this. Philly fired their coordinator, Tampa Bay, Detroit, and San Diego. All fired the coordinators. And Tampa Bay and Detroit, and the Philly guy was their first year. They lasted 1 year. Boom, you're gone.
Philly's had like 4 offensive coordinators the last 4 years, something like that. And one of them, the kid that I call him a kid because he looks like he's about 15. They won the championship with him, and he's the head coach in New Orleans now.
Right. Yes.
But these other guys, I'm sick of Sirianni. I'll tell you, Sirianni's sprinting down the sideline to confront Brown. For I guess Brown had like 3 drops in serious situations, so he doesn't have anything to say about it. And of course, he says everything after every game, but he refused to talk to the media after this game. But Sirianni is running. You saw this. Sirianni is running down the field, and we got one of the great supreme viewing moments of the Eagles. That Eagles butt boy security guy, Big Dom DeSandro, separating a coach and a player. And we remember Big Dom for getting he got kicked off the sidelines. Right. Remember when he got physical? It was a 49er. He got physical with last year, 2 years ago. And so he became a media figure, but he's such a fool. But we got the great, we got great media that we could watch his fat mug, separating Sirianni from A.J. Brown. What a wonderful scene in a playoff.
That shouldn't happen. That should never happen at any level. Yeah. Sirianni should know better than that. To kind of throw his player under the bus. Now Brown runs his mouth. I get it, but you don't handle it that way. That was terrible. It was really.
The Fox folks handled it great. They had Tom Brady in the booth saying it was just a minor rift. It had played but this thing's been going on all season. And then he said this was just a minor rift, and then Erin Andrews on the sideline complimented Brady because Sirianni told her that that they loved each other. That was a great fight. And then Kevin Burkhardt in the booth complimented Andrews, loved her ridiculous multicolored fur coat that she had on. And, so that's the way Fox handled it, and all was right with the world. It was great. Great report. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron and Tom, for your great reporting.
Curry, she took him at his word that they love each other, but I don't know about at UNC, but at Mizzou, they taught us that if your mom tells you that she loves you, you confirm it with the second source. So certainly you should not take Nick Sirianni at his word, but Sirianni's been a jerk. They were about to run him out of town.
That's right.
Last season.
That's
and
right.
Then they caught fire and won the Super Bowl, or went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, right? And so all of a sudden he was, a good guy again. Oh yeah, that's just how he is. But I think he's hard to work for.
I know.
No, he's gone. He's gone in a couple of weeks. He'd be gone, right?
Well, when you look at NFL coaches, and guys that won the Super Bowl, Tom Landry, and the list goes on, Vince Lombardi, and all these guys. And then you look at him. Come on. I mean,
Yeah.
he look like an NFL coach in the way he talks, and it's ridiculous.
Well,
I'm not a fan at all.
I think he gets rid of Brown. Don't you think? Brown's
I,
gone.
I would think Brown wants to go. I think
Well,
he wants to go. I don't think he wants to be around him.
yeah.
So
I
Well,
think Sirianni's toast. I really do. I think he's going to be. I think they're going to fire him because, I mean, you look at the prospects that are out there in the coaching ranks right now with Harbaugh and I mean, people are getting down the road with Harbaugh, and if Tomlin's going to coach again, people are going to get down the road quickly with him too.
yeah.
You better get in the mix. You know,
Yeah,
New York's in the mix, and Atlanta's in the mix, and Philadelphia.
I think Harbaugh goes to Atlanta.
I
don't think he goes to New York. But also, about him, he's put himself above so many, like he just got fired and now he has all these demands of what he wants. In 19 years, he did win a Super Bowl. That's not take anything away from him. And he is a good coach. That's the thing. But who does he, I mean, he's not the next Vince Lombardi. He's got all these demands of, he wants control of the players. He wants this and that. To be honest with you, I hope the Giants don't get him. I really don't. I just, he's putting himself up.
To him, I think that's because, and I hear Jason LaCanfora a lot on Kornheiser's show, and he goes in on Baltimore because he really knows Baltimore. And so I guess Harbaugh's real frustration in Baltimore was with the front office that every year they would make his coordinators the scapegoat, and they would make him fire his coordinators. Mm-hmm. And he's like, when are we going to hold the people who handle player personnel accountable?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he's fighting for that, because he feels like he got a raw deal on that. And Baltimore, he wants to have some say in that. So I get it.
Did you see
you're wary of it as a fan?
Did you see the Ravens owner's press conference today when they told him that Tomlin had left the Steelers, and he couldn't even believe it, and he said, really, he used a few f bombs and in the press conference. Then they asked him, you think you can get Tomlin to come here to Baltimore? And he said only if Harbaugh takes the Steelers job, then we'll get Tomlin, which would be unbelievable. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, if they exchange teams, that would be the best.
Listen, I suggested that last week. I said,
yeah, you did.
Tomlin leaves. I just think that would be fantastic.
And speaking of last week, Rich, you wanted Harbaugh as the Giants coach. Come on.
I did. You're right. You're right. You're right. I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he got the job, but I really think he's going to Atlanta. I think Atlanta might be the best job out there, to be honest with you. But
they got some people. What do you do about a quarterback in Atlanta? That Cousins is gone, and that left-hander from Washington that got hurt. But
Curry, how coaches are. They feel these guys. All coaches have egos. They feel I can make a difference in this guy the way he plays, and he's going to be an NFL. He's young. I can turn him around. He's going to be a terrific quarterback.
But excited about him at the end of last year and coming into this year, and then it wasn't so great this year. But
he got hurt. He got hurt too.
He's very skinny. I think he's going to continue to get hurt. I wouldn't put my money on that guy. They got to get another quarterback, I think, Atlanta, if they're going to do anything. Speaking of, we can't end this segment without mentioning my boy Josh Allen, who did you see he did his own tush push about 10 yards into the end zone. That's the play that's going to get this thing outlawed, I think. That's the play they're going to say now. The Eagles did it for years. They were the best at doing it. Now Buffalo does it. And Allen, I mean, they picked up Allen.
They picked him up.
40-pound, picked him up, 240-pound quarter, and carried him into the end zone. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they should call that the butt dozer. But Wes wants to know who we got in the divisional round. So you got Broncos hosting Buffalo.
Right.
You got Houston going to
New England. They're going to New England.
Both of those are very interesting games to me. And then on the other side, got a rematch of just a couple of weeks ago when the Seahawks trounced the 49ers, and now the 49ers are down Kittle as the injuries continue in San Francisco. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got the Rams going to the Bears. So who you guys got? Who's going to play for the conference championship?
Yikes! They're all tough games. I think New England definitely wins. Oh, I shouldn't say definitely wins. I mean,
Sure.
Texans have a great defense, but I just think overall, I mean, they did struggle offensively there for a while last night. I think New England wins that. I think, Rams. The Rams playing the Bears. That's. I'm going to take the Rams in that one.
And the Rams are favored. Rams are favored.
I know.
Yeah.
Think about that. Isn't Denver the overall number one? It's Denver against the Bills. Denver's the number one overall seed, and they're underdogs playing at home.
At home.
How does that happen?
Crazy. I mean, I don't believe Denver. I don't believe in them. I watched so many of their games hoping they would lose in the last minute, and they somehow snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. And it just feels like fool's gold to me.
Yeah.
But I also
Caleb Williams has been unbelievable in the fourth quarter of these games. As you say, where there's 7 or 8 games where they've come back from being down with a minute to go, and he's won them all. He's certainly turned it. He's turned his reputation around, and of course, the coach is a Tar Heel. Ben Johnson, former Tar Heel player, is coaching the Bears. What did you think of after all the magic that Caleb Wilson did? All the talk after the game was about the great handshake between the coaches, between Ben Johnson and who is it? The Packers guy. The talk was that LaFleur, for blowing the 21-6, they were up 21-6 going in the fourth quarter. If that's going to cost him his job, is blowing that lead, because he's been awful in the playoffs also.
Yes.
They've lost 5 straight games since Micah Parsons got hurt. Ending the season. They've lost every game they've played. Yeah. So, I wonder if his job is in jeopardy.
Well, they talked about it, but then they also talked giving him an extension. So who knows? When they start looking like who's out there to bring in, maybe stay with what we have. They were up. Yeah. They were up 18 points in the second half, and the Bears didn't look good offensively at all. But that's football's a fun game.
21-3 and 21-6.
Right.
Going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. But Rich, speak to post-game handshakes. What did you think about that? Did you ever have any bitter ones?
No, I don't think so. Unless a guy was, unless a coach was running up to score, like you were getting beat bad and they ran up to score and they continue to press. You might have something to say as you go through the line. But I don't know why the Green Bay Packers coach would be upset with the Bears coach. I mean, what did it? He blew the lead. I mean, his team didn't handle the situation down the stretch. So why is he upset with him? Unless they have something going on prior to this game.
I think personally, LaFleur. Johnson, in his opening press conference, he mentioned it's going to be great to beat LaFleur twice every year, which he said, he did with Detroit. And so he mentioned there's something personal there.
Okay.
And so the handshake, which was a drive-by for Johnson, he just a drive-by, touched LaFleur's hands. And then in the locker room, the America had to endure Ben Johnson's F-bombs about the Packers. He was calling them F the Packers. I mean, as loud as he could. So it's become a controversy, I think. But then I saw this morning, they played a clip of the handshake after the Packers won the regular season game.
Okay.
And LaFleur did the same thing. He did a drive-by on Johnson. He just, ran by and touched his hand. So he'd do the same thing. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Nice to say. You don't need to say anything, right? You just keep on moving.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Now, I did have one handshake line incident as a coach when we were 12. The other team's coach threw a kid 120 pitches in a game against us, and I asked him if it was worth it in the handshake line.
What did he say?
Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then disputed the pitch count. And I said, brother, it was even higher on your game changer than it was on ours. So you knew what it was.
Oh,
But,
nobody threw hands though. Come on.
no, I was ready though, but I don't have to throw hands because I know how to wrestle. I can put you on the ground, and that's that. But yeah, that was as close as I got to a nasty handshake line. But it's all usually pretty good in the handshake.
Well, there weren't any injuries there, but after the or it was during the game actually, the Patriots game. Did you see Patriots coach Mike Vrabel? His lip all got crushed when Milt Williams did a congratulatory hug on him, and helmet. I mean, he blasted. He did a helmet right to his face, a headbutt. He did a total headbutt on Vrabel's face, which was great.
The crimson mask.
No, he was bleeding. He was bleeding, running around with a bloody lip. And
he probably loved that, Curry. He probably loved it. It brought back his old days of playing linebacker.
He was going at it too.
Yeah.
He was licking it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not leave my boy Josh Allen. One more thing. I'm throwing him under a little bit because all of his post-game messages, and he played a great game. I mean, he's going to beat Denver single-handedly like he does everybody else, I hope. I think that'd be nice for the Bills to get in the championship game. I think it's going to be Bills-Patriots, a third meeting for that league.
Could
and, you asked me if I'm like Rich. I love the Rams. I think the Rams are going to beat the Bears and then get Seattle. You know, it's amazing how San Francisco can keep going in his playoffs. You know, I mean, they were embarrassed against Seattle. I don't think
they were.
Yeah, I don't think they can win another rematch. Do you?
I don't either. I think Seattle has their number.
But Seattle in that game, it was 13-3. It wasn't like they blew them out. And McCaffrey dropped the pass going into the end zone. They intercepted. It would have been 13-10. So even though San Francisco didn't do anything offensively, it was a fairly close game. Now you got to play up in Seattle. Now it's up there.
But they looked awful. They didn't look like they were
you're right.
in the game.
But they looked pretty good this past Sunday. With all their injuries, it's amazing they're even still playing. So Kittle's hurt now. But Curry, Buffalo lost one of their better receivers. Gabe Davis is out. That hurts them a little bit. So we'll see.
He hasn't been contributing much the last few games, though.
He caught 12 passes.
He did in the last game. Yeah. But Josh hasn't got many guys to throw to anyway. I mean,
you're right.
He's doing this with mirrors. And again, I said I'm going to throw him under a little bit because after the game, he never mentioned his wife, Haley Stanfield, who was about to present that night at the Golden Globes. And she was in one of the big movies of the year, Sinners. She presented at the Globes, and I would have thought he would have shouted her out, but maybe he didn't because she wasn't even nominated. So maybe he thinks she's a loser.
Maybe she said, "Don't mention the Globe."
Right? Yeah, exactly. He was trying to get a hall pass.
We are trucking toward an hour and a half show here, boys. So we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be back to talk college football, college hoops, and much more here on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson Seafood House on the Docks. All right, I let the bus get a little off track, a little off the beaten path there in our first segment talking NFL, but let's turn the page and talk a little college football. We got a national championship matchup set, and it's Indiana. Yeah, the noted football school, Indiana, is coming in as the big favorite against Miami, which has had a great storyline of its own. Most people thought they should have been out of the playoff. Notre Dame took their ball and went home on account of it, and Miami's still playing for a national championship. So they've proven a bit of a point. The SEC's got a little egg on their face. We're throwing them under the bus for participants in the championship.
How about they were 4-10 SEC in bowl games, they were 4-10. The ACC is always getting beat down. They were 9-4. So the SEC, that everybody always talks about how great they are and unbelievable. 4-10 for bowl games. That's not, Big Ten was 10-5, but 4-10 is not a great thing to brag about. That's for sure. But Indiana, do you guys think Indiana does Miami have a chance to beat Indiana? I don't think so.
I think their defense is very physical. They run the ball really well. I think the game script matters a lot. I think they have to get on top early and play their game, because if Indiana gets on you early and they're just playing free and loose, man, they're unstoppable.
Yep.
Well, it's a very unique situation on Miami side, because they're playing the national championship on their home field, which is really interesting. I think that's going to make it. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but it's going to be. I think it's a big deal, because the Indiana fans just inundated both the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl. I read they had 90% of the fans at the Peach Bowl were Indiana, not the other team. And of course, they absolutely humiliated Alabama in the Rose Bowl. So they're out there embarrassing teams like LSU did a few years ago with what's his name, quarterback
Joe Burrows.
Yeah. And they're comparing Fernando's year to Burrow's year now. I mean, they're just blowing. The question is, how much will Indiana blow the doors off Miami? I think. I just, I think. But, Miami has playmakers. I mean, Carson Beck, this is his third championship game. He didn't play in the other two, but, he's been in college about 15 years. And Miami has the great freshman receiver, Malachi Toney, who is they don't call him Baby Jesus for nothing. He's about my favorite player. In the semis, Beck had a great game in the semis, running into the end zone for that touchdown that won the game. But I think if you throw anybody under the bus during the semis, it might be the refs on that last play of the Miami-Mississippi game into the end zone, which was obvious PI, pass interference, obvious, but they're never going to call it.
Never call it. They'll
Hail
never call
Marys in the end zone, and Hail Marys in the end zone, they're not going to call it.
Well, the analysts, when they always have an official, they always return to and ask questions.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, we'll never make that call because both guys were fighting for the ball. We'll never make that call." And they always say, I hate this comment. The officials don't want to make end the game with our decision making. But when you don't make the call, you are making a decision. You're deciding that you're not going to make the call, which takes the ball out of their hands. That's not fair to them. There was definitely pushing going on there. I was disappointed in Mississippi's defense. I just thought, they scored with 3 minutes to go and some change, and they came after the Beck with 3 people. Come on, you drop all these guys. You think, okay, we got the whole field covered. No, you don't, because he has all the time in the world to make a decision. Come after him. Change it up. Do something different. They just marched down the field, and there was no change of rushing guys at him. You got to put pressure on the quarterback. Analytics, go guys. I'd like to talk to all football coaches. Go to analytics and go look at how many times when you rush the quarterback with 4 and 5 guys and the success rate that you have. Sure, they make some completions. I get it. But you look at the time when you let the quarterback stand back there with only 3 people rushing him, with all the time in the world, he's going to find somebody open for sure.
And no pressure on Beck, and he can find people. Right. I mean, he's got a great arm. You mentioned that play in the end zone at the end of the game. How long was that pass? It was a long pass, right? I mean, it was 40 yards.
Yeah, about 40 yards, I would think, right?
If that pass, though, Rich, if that comes 10 minutes earlier in the game, they're going to call pass interference.
Yes,
I think it's the end of the game. It's the end of the game play that really means.
Too. They do the same thing.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, Justin.
A man gets leveled by 3 people, and it's just.
You can't in a basketball game. At the end of the game, you can't drive. Because you're gonna get whacked, and they're not gonna call it unless there's blood, and you fall to the ground and have a concussion. There's gonna be no foul call. So why even drive to the basket? Seriously.
Well,
because they hear that horn and they scurry away.
Exactly.
Rich, the Mississippi defense you talk about may have been exhausted. Miami
Well,
ran.
that's true too.
Miami had the ball for 41 minutes in that game, and they ran 28 more plays than
It's a lot.
Mississippi. 28.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. Of course, your boy Lane Kiffin. He probably would say, we would have won the game if I was allowed to coach it.
I'm sure he would have said that for sure.
Sure. We're and you talk about the result did leave the SEC, looking very mediocre. I know they were. What'd you say? They were 4-10.
Yeah, and the think of this, guys. 2 of those wins out of the 4 when SEC was playing another SEC school.
Yeah, well,
and then one of the wins was against Tulane. So they only had 1 win against a major power, which I think was against Michigan. That's it.
Yeah. And for the 3rd year in a row, they have no team in the championship game, which, they're going to, where have you gone, Sabinator? But worse for Trinidad Chambliss, who played a great game. Worse for him, the NCAA has denied him now a 6th year to play. So he's got the lawyers already keyed up on that one to see if they can get him. But the kid from Auburn, Deuce Knight, former 5-star quarterback at Auburn, he's already left the portal to go to Mississippi.
Right.
Understanding that Chambliss is going to be gone. So, maybe, who knows? Speaking of which, if Indiana, if the Hoosiers complete this absolutely historic, magical season at 16-0, the Heisman, he's going off the NFL, I'm sure.
Right.
He's content. His replacement might be his own brother, right? But his own brother was the 2nd string. But then again, the Josh Hoover from TCU has already left the portal for Indiana.
Right.
So they've got a great quarterback coming in. Hoover, by the way, lit up my Tar Heels in the opening game of last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but I do.
I do remember that. But
yeah. But he's terrific, and he's coming in.
He is. He really is.
Signetti's already got guys, ready to go next year. But you're right. You're right, Justin. Just throw the whole SEC under the bus. I mean, those teams were humiliated, in Oregon as well. I mean, what the hell were they doing? I mean,
that was awful.
That was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
That Ducks quarterback, Dante Moore. More or less, he was pretty much Dante less. How about his opening pass,
touchdown,
pick 6? Then he did 2 other fumbles. I mean, he cost himself a bit of money, I think, in this game.
Well, they talked about him being the 1st overall pick, or at worst, the second. He's right down the ladder now. I don't see that happening. He might need to come back.
Number 1. So take that as you will. Grain of salt. He didn't look like.
I think the Canes have got some playmakers. I think the Canes give them a half, and we can watch those ex-Hurricanes go crazy on the sideline. I'm sick of that. But I think I think they give them a half. But I think Indiana isn't so much playing Miami as they're playing for history. I mean, I think they really are. They're concerned, and they make no mistakes. Down the line, the offense, the defense, they are very impressive.
So precise. They are so precise. And you can tell that he just demands perfection all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think they get 35-12. You better do it the right way. The 3rd string guy's in there, but he better do it the way the 1st string guy does it, or he's
which is wonderful. I love to see that. The interesting thing is, after they won, some guy came out and said, accused the coaching staff of cheating. They're not cheating. They just have more money than anybody else, and they get the players to come. It's not cheating whatsoever. I read this today. Indiana boasts the nation's largest living alumni base, the largest in the country.
Indiana.
Dropped that in the chat a few minutes ago, and I was just about to point it out. But that's why people are thinking that even though apparently the Miami fans, the Miami people that have tickets to this game are putting them on the secondary market and getting big bucks because the Indiana alumni are flooding in to buy all the tickets. So I don't think it's going to be a home field advantage for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, you may be right. And one of those alumni is named Mark Cuban.
Yep.
And I think he empties his pockets pretty much. Yeah, for the
big time.
Indians.
Big time.
Yeah.
So, Cuban went to Indiana. Cuban went to Indiana University.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
I knew he was giving them money. I just didn't know that he attended.
He was a big time Bobby Knight fan, and Bobby Knight's friend before. Yeah, when Knight was coaching, of course.
You too, right?
But he couldn't do anything in football.
You were also a big Bobby Knight fan.
Oh
right?
Yeah. I say the Hoosiers get another 40 on Miami. I think it's.
I think we stopped watching it in the second half. I do.
Yeah,
I think we stopped watching it. I didn't even watch the last game when I saw the score. I was out.
I can't wait to see the prop bets on what words Fernando will use in his post-game interview.
Yeah. Well, we get one more. We get one more gig of that Signetti Fernando show of bad face memes and scripted intervieus.
Interviews. Golly gee willikers, I never thought I'd win a natty. He's such a geek, but I love it. He's endearing. I know you're tired of it, Curry, but
not endearing anymore. Sorry.
At least he hasn't, as far as we know, done any horrible things off the field like so many previous Heisman Trophy winners and star quarterbacks. But any other things from college football, guys, before we take a quick break?
I think we got it.
All right, we've covered that. We'll be back with college hoops, and Rich will tell us about some coaches who effed up royally. And what are you doing, Coach? After the break here on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks. Hey, welcome back on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island, right on Skull Creek. No better place to hang out on a beautiful day. And in honor to Bob Stevens, our esteemed host who's not with us tonight, I just looked over and saw indoor golf happening. So I guess it's the golf league season. We got guys playing fake golf indoors on TV.
I can't watch that. I cannot watch that.
Yeah, I can't get too into it either, but there is kind of a car wreck, factor to it where you can't look away. You're like, what are these guys doing? I'm sure Bob's in tune with it, but you guys are far more in tune with college hoops, and we got a big game on tap tonight, in fact, with Iowa State against Kansas. And before we let you lay into some coaches, Rich, Curry and I were talking before the show about the gentleman at Kansas. What's his name?
Bill Self.
No,
Peterson.
Oh, Peterson. Yeah.
Peterson kid at Kansas. I don't know if you guys saw the other night, but I mean, they're in the middle of a tight game, and he just puts up his hand out. And he walks down to the end of the bench, sits in his special little chair down there away from everybody. And they just keep a camera on him on the broadcast. They check in on him every now and then. And he's just chilling over there. And then whenever he decides he wants to go back in, he goes back in. He's got his own personal load management schedule that's at his own whim, I guess. And I couldn't help but think of you, Rich, because I can't imagine how you would have responded during your coaching days if a kid told you that he was taking himself in and out.
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, that thrown under the bus is Bill Self. I mean, here's this guy who's got this reputation as one of the top coaches in college basketball. And I have to say, I think he's overrated. I really do. I mean, I know he has a lot of success, and people would think I'm crazy to say that. But look at his teams the last couple of years, what they've done. They haven't done a whole lot. They lost to West Virginia the other day, West Virginia. And Peterson was back, which was, he's supposed to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft, according to these experts. And Justin, what he did, for a coach to allow a player, sure, there are players you give a little signal, you might come out because you're exhausted or whatever. I mean, sometimes that does happen. But to have him sit down at the end of the bench, not be with the rest of his teammates, and then give the signal like, "I want to come back in," like, what the heck? How do you allow that? I don't go for that. But major college basketball is a whole different level than high school basketball. But Bill Self is. I don't, look at his record over the last couple of years, and look at some of the players he's had. He's right up there with my favorite. Who do you think that is?
Excuse me, does it
John
begin with
Calipari.
CAL? In with CAL?
Yeah.
Calipari. And how about
Right.
Calipari this weekend losing to Auburn? Auburn's 9-6, Arkansas is 12-3, and at halftime, Arkansas was down 15 at halftime. They ended up losing 95-73 to Stephen Pearl, young coach.
Calipari went crazy afterward again. He said if we had 6 guys out there, they still would be.
Yeah. Well, I know, but that's what I mean. Coach, you make these guys get paid an unbelievable amount of money. Make some adjustments. I mean, I get it. You don't make shots, you don't play defense, but you got to make some adjustments in the game. The game got away from them. You can't let the game get away from you. You have the better overall talent. Arkansas has the better overall talent than Auburn does. You can't, not to say that upsets happen every day. It happens all the time. But don't let that game get away from being down 15 at halftime. You got to do something. And he makes, everybody loves his comments. But how about Calipari? How about do something? Making adjustments and do something. So he's my guy under the bus. I'll let you guys, I don't want to comment too much here.
Well, to get back to Peterson, Rich, is it a lingering hamstring? Is that what the injury is?
Yes.
Because, when we played him, we being North Carolina, he was healthy. Mm-hmm. And he is the number 1 draft choice. He's an amazing player. But then he got hurt, this hamstring. He's out for 4 or 5 games. And then Self has brought him back to play. But you're right. He plays when he wants to, it looks like to me. And, there was some speculation Self was going to just sit him out for the NBA and let him go and not even play the season. But Self's trying to win some. He's trying to win some games too.
Sure. Well, he's a lot. Think about this. They
already paid him for the season, right?
Well, and he's been. How many games has he missed? He hasn't played many games, has he? Maybe 3 or 4.
He's playing half the games now. The last few weeks. Yeah, he's been playing the game, and he comes out like Justin said. He comes out when he wants to. Comes back in. He played the great game against who was it? He had 3 foul shots at the end to go to overtime.
TCU.
Who?
It was against TCU.
TCU, yeah.
That's where he
when they blew a 15-point lead. When they blew a 15-point lead, he was a big part of that comeback in that game. And they fouled him.
They got way behind because he spent like 9 minutes on the bench.
And then he didn't even play. He didn't even play the overtime, which is strange. But they ended
how
up
about
winning.
that? So if you're that hurt, then why are you even playing in the game? If you can't go, then don't play. Pick and choose what minutes you want to play, and don't play in the overtime. Come on.
If it's really about not risking injury, then you would shut it down until you're right. You wouldn't continue to play through it, in spurts like that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Well,
I don't get it. I don't get that part of it.
But who are some other? I know you've been.
Well, here's the big one. Curry and I talked about a little bit. So Chicago State, who has a record of 2-15, playing Stonehill, who's 5-12. And so Chicago State, if we talk about upsets all the time, right? They have a chance to get
this live.
Third, no, not live. Third win of the year. They're up by 2 points with 0.1 second. 0.1. So you cannot catch and shoot in 0.1 seconds. The game's over.
You can't lose. You can't lose the game. You can't lose the game.
Right. You can't lose the game. You're up by 2.1 seconds. There's nothing you can do to lose the game except call a timeout when you have no timeouts left.
No, Chris Webber. No.
So they call a timeout, technical foul. Stonehill makes both foul shots, send the game into overtime. and Stonehill wins, I think by 3, 85-82.
85-82, right. Yeah,
Right,
the coach's name is Landon Bussie, Bufsie. And I don't think he's going to get a Division One job anytime soon. Anytime soon. I gotta.
Wait, the coach called the timeout?
Yeah. What the Chicago State coach called timeout,
No.
right, Rich?
Yes. Crazy.
Oh,
To set up his defense. Stonehill had the ball.
It's 0.1 seconds. There's nothing you can do. There's they would not allow, if he passes, obviously you pass the ball in bounds, kid catches and shoot, the shot will not count. It will not count.
all they can do is swat it like
Right.
volleyball tip. That's it.
Yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
that goes down for the records for sure.
Yeah.
That's an all-timer.
I got a Division One. This is very strange. Also in the Midwest, guy named Paul Davis, who was a player for Tom Izzo at Michigan State, a really good player,
yeah.
a really good player, and one of Izzo's favorite players. He's watching the game, and it's Michigan State is blowing out. Who was they blowing out? I didn't even remember who they're playing, but they won the game 80-51. They're playing USC. Well, that's a big school playing USC. And Davis is going crazy on the refs. He's verbally abusing the refs, shouting F-bombs and all that stuff. Izzo's running down. He's across the court. Izzo sees him. He's running down the court. Izzo screams at Davis across the court. What are you doing? What are you doing? The refs threw Davis out. They came over and asked him, or didn't ask him, ordered him to leave the gym.
Right.
So poor Paul Davis had to leave the gym. He was so embarrassed. And then after the game, he got in the press conference with Izzo right before Izzo he came up and apologized to every human being he possibly could. He apologized. But Izzo said, yeah, Izzo's comment on the guy was, he was one of my favorite players, but what he said should never be said. It really ticked me off. Izzo has to throw his own player out of the gym. I mean, and they won they were up at the time. It was 6 minutes left. The score was 67-46. What is Davis so worried about the official? I didn't get that. I didn't get that one at all.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Speaking of coaches and making decisions, Rich, you're not as enamored of my school as I am, but the Tar Heels playing Wake Forest, they're up 15 in the middle of the second half. The game's over. They're up 15, and Hubert Davis somehow managed to make it a 1 point, jerker game. Wake Forest must have made 100 3-point. We don't guard the 3-point line. We can't shoot. Our perimeter players cannot shoot. Trimble, his Hubert Davis's replacement, his guys getting in and out is totally confusing for me. He lets guys come in for 2 minutes, lets them out. It's just chaos.
Well, he doesn't have a rotation. He doesn't have a rotation. The guys have a normal rotation. He doesn't have one.
No. And Seth Trimble ends up playing point guard halftime, and he dribbles like crazy all over the court, into trouble all the time, down the middle, and we get in trouble, and it ends up nail biter. We finally win by Wake Forest is killing us from distance. We barely survive 87-84, and Tar Heels actually moved 3 points up in the rankings, the AP ranking. They moved to 14, but because Wake Forest is a pretty good team, but we were absolutely blowing them out, and we should have won. Same thing happened against Ohio State. We should have won that game by 15. We end up, a 1 point breath. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch.
Doesn't seem like his forte per se.
Well, it leaves after. So number one, Michigan gets beat at Wisconsin this week. Leaves 5 teams undefeated. And as Rich and I were saying before he came on, it's very unusual middle of the season to have 5 teams without a loss.
Yeah,
especially in this era.
Usually just 1 or 2. Yeah. but they may be about to go down in the next couple of weeks.
I think they will. I think every one of them will lose a game. It's hard to stay undefeated. It
As we
really
said,
is.
we're doing this on Tuesday. Iowa State's at Kansas tonight. So depending on how much Peterson sits and comes in the game, we might have an upset there of number one.
Decide he wants to beat Iowa State tonight, so
yeah. But I don't know. What do you think of Vanderbilt? Vandy's undefeated. Now they're going to play at Florida. They're playing at Florida on Saturday. They're going down, I think, in that game.
Men and the women are both.
Florida's rounding into form, I think, and becoming, they're defending champions. They haven't played like it up until a couple weeks ago. But Vanderbilt's got to go into there, so I'm picking that going down.
Vandy's very good, well coached, very good, but they're going to go down more than once. They're going to go. The SEC's got some good teams. I can see them going. I see all 5 of those teams, Curry, that you've mentioned going down. It's hard to win on the road in college basketball, especially when you come in undefeated, because those teams are so jacked to play you and ready for you, and it's very hard. But Vandy, I could see Vandy going far in the NCAA playoffs. I really do. I see Michigan, Arizona going far. But you got some teams like Purdue. No one's talking about Purdue. Michigan and Michigan State, Illinois in the Big Ten. How about Purdue? I think they only have one. Nebraska, right?
Which is one of the other undefeated teams, and they beat Michigan State last week at home. It was a home game, but
Indiana can be good at football. Nebraska can be good at basketball.
That's true. That's right. There you go.
But the one team that might go undefeated, Rich, is Miami of Ohio. Yeah. Strangely enough, they're the 5th team that's unbeaten. And they play in the MAC, of course, but they're going to be favored in every game they play.
They will, but the MAC has some good teams. Akron, who they beat by 1 at home. You got Kent State. You got Buffalo. I mean, there's somebody who's going to get them sooner or later, for sure.
Yeah. Right? Wally Zerbiaks.
Oh, there you go. Miami, Ohio. Wally.
He's good on TV. Wally's good on TV.
Yeah, he put him
I did a TV piece on him when he was in college, and it was great. He was really a great guy, and it makes you. This guy is so good looking, though. It makes you angry. I mean, the guy comes in the room and so handsome and nice. It makes you angry. He did that to me.
Curry, you also had something in your notes about mercenaries, which is definitely a phenomenon that we're experiencing in sports right now. We talked about guys that are hopping from job to job or school to school, and you got a few on your list, and I'm kind of happy about one of them because Alex. Your boy Bregman's going to the Cubbies after 1 year with the Red Sox. Yeah. What is the money deal? Did they just offer more money?
Without a doubt, $35 million for a guy who's 35 years old.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's not my money, so I don't care.
Yeah, it is. All the fans who pay to go to the game. What do you think they're getting the income?
Didn't they want Justin? The Cubs wanted Bregman last year, right?
They did. Yeah, they went hard for him last year and lost him to Boston, which then, of course, completely retooled the future of their franchise around him and sent Rafael Devers away, and now the guy leaves. Boston has not gotten one right in the front office at all.
I'm happy about that.
They are just blowing it, just tripping over the rake year after year after year.
Well, I'm not a Red Sox fan. Of course, I'm a Cardinal fan, and they just gave away Arenado to Arizona. Yeah. I mean, the Cardinals are in rebuild. It's like disgusting. I mean, it's really sad. But I also mentioned the golfer Brooks Koepka, who now is going back from LIV back to the PGA Tour. I don't get does he get fined or does he still get all that money?
He does. He has to pay. Listen to this. He has to make a $5 million donation.
$5 billion?
$5 million. $5 million.
How much? How much did he get paid to sign with LIV?
I think $100 million. I think $100 million.
Oh my God!
Well, but then he also has to forfeit 5 years of potential income, I guess, in their program. So he could miss out on, you say, between $50 and $85 million.
They give out those big bonuses at the end of the year. That's how they still pay Tiger and people who can't play and win money anymore. That are good for the game, and also how they just line the pockets of the big stars and keep them happy.
And this thing is called a returning member program. They have the PGA has invented this returning member program so they can get kept in there and greet him with open arms. And I know they're trying to get Rahm and DeChambeau back, and that would be the end of Live.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, sure.
And good riddance. I mean, what a ridiculous concept. We're playing in shorts, boom boxes, and everything else. It was outrageously stupid. I'm glad that it's going to die a quiet death, and we'll get back to having one professional golf tour that is serious and matters. Not that I'm the hugest golf fan, but I don't know. There's some things that we don't need to modernize so much. Let's just let it be the way it's supposed to be. You also had, I'm puzzling about how this fits in. Timothy Chalamet.
Well, the guy, he's making so much money. And I don't know if you've seen his latest movie, Marty Supreme. It's about he sort of fits in sports-wise because it's about a ping pong player.
I saw that. Have you seen it, Curry?
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
Did you like it?
I liked parts of it. Other parts I thought were not so good, but he's such a great actor, this guy. He's in every scene, and the dialogue is so fast. There's so much dialogue that this guy has to do. And of course, Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. It's an amazing movie. The guy from who's the nasty guy that's on that TV show where you present something you invented, and
yeah, I know who you're talking about. He is a
shark bait. What's it called? Shark Tank. And the guy, the guy that's the nasty guy on there is in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? You know his name. O'Brien, maybe, or something. O'Leary's his name. And I don't know where he made his money, but he's an arrogant, excuse my French, a-hole in real life. And he tells the stories how the director called him up, the director Safdie, who did Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Guy's a director. He's, they're going to be up for the Oscar as well. But Safdie called O'Leary and said, look, I'm doing this movie on this ping pong player with Chalamet, and we need a character that's an arrogant asshole, and we thought of you immediately. And O'Leary said, that's great. I'll play myself, which is wonderful. And he's terrific in the movie.
He's really good. He's very good. Yeah. I was surprised to see him even in the movie, but he did a very good job. He did really good.
Saw it, Rick. You saw it, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, like you. Some parts I liked. Some of it kind of dragged on, but it was good. I didn't think it definitely win Best Picture. I don't think it should be up for that, but
he's terrific, and now he's winning.
He is.
He won the Actors Guild. He won the Actors Guild the previous week. He won the Gold Globe the other night, and he's beating people like DiCaprio and George Clooney, and big time names.
Right.
There's a Brazilian guy that's in a Brazilian movie that I haven't seen, but he's his biggest competition.
I mean, and he's a fellow short man, right?
Chalamet. Short man? Yeah. I don't know if he's that short. I don't think he's that short.
He looks short.
He's of course his
Kylie Jenner, right?
Partner is Kylie Jenner, who's about 6'5", so maybe
he's 6'5".
He's 5'10". He's not terribly short. He looks.
How tall is he? How tall?
5'10".
Okay.
Yeah, he's a decent guard.
Oh yeah, he's not. Who's that comedian they always make fun of?
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart? Which one?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yeah. He looks like a midget.
He's tiny. That man's tiny. All right, boys.
I got one last under the bus if you want to hear. It's it's unusual. The Winter Olympics are coming up, so I'm going. The World Cup bobsled last week in Saint Moritz, Switzerland. We have a guy named Chris Horn, and they're in the 4-man, whatever it's called, go down the on the sled, on the bobsled, and Chris Horn is the driver, and he jumped in the sled, and he was horrified to find out that none of his other drivers could get in. They all ran after the thing and couldn't get in. It was going too fast. He had to go down the run. This was an actual run, a race. He had to go around the run alone, it's going 75 miles per hour. He's got no brakes because the brakes are in the back.
Yeah, the brake
Well,
man
no,
wasn't there.
brake man, and he's got no brake man. And he got to the bottom okay. He was safe and no injuries at the finish line. And at the finish line, he was able to scoot toward the brake of the sled and break the thing, I guess.
Wow.
But kudos to him, and under the bus to his 3 teammates. I don't know what they were thinking. They said they couldn't catch up with it.
They
But
they missed the bus.
yeah,
That's right. They missed the bus for sure.
Horn also crashed out of the 2-man the next day, so he had a bad weekend. But
Maybe he took off too fast. Maybe he jumped in there too soon. They weren't ready
he's
yet.
expected to be named to the U.S. Olympic team. For the Cortina Games. So
We
maybe
better
we'll be
tune in
okay.
for
I don't know.
any bobsled shenanigans. Then you might get
Yeah.
something interesting. All right, boys, it was fun. We
Yeah.
extended 65 minutes of
Wow. Our longest.
sports and throwing folks under the bus. I'll try to be a better gatekeeper the next time I sit in for Bob Stevens.
Justin, you got to cut us off. Yeah,
I got to, but I get caught up listening to you. I could listen to you guys talk all day. So thanks for tuning in to listen to us talk for an hour and 5 minutes. We'll see you again next week. I don't think Bob's back yet, so I think it'll be me at the helm again. This man is traveling the world. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Hudson Seafood House on the Docks for the sponsorship. Thanks to Worldwide West Curve for the production tonight and all the little tidbits in the chat. And thank you for showing up to listen or watch. Until next time, for Rich Basirico and Curry Kirkpatrick, I'm Justin Jarrett. Go Lowco and stay out from under the bus.
There you go.